Hello, and welcome to the English with Colin Podcast, a podcast for English language learners. My name's Colin, I'm an English teacher in Tokyo, and if you're looking to improve your English skills and gain more confidence in your ability to communicate in English, you've come to the right place. In these episodes, I'll provide you with short conversations in English that cover a range of topics, from everyday situations to more specialised subjects. These conversations are designed to help you practice your listening skills and pick up new vocabulary and grammar along the way. Regular listening practice is key to improving your English, and I hope this podcast will become a valuable resource for you on your language learning journey. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the conversation. And remember, the more you listen, the more you'll learn. Before we start, I have a small favour to ask. If you are enjoying these podcasts, please take a moment to share your favourite episode with a friend. This really helps our podcast to grow. So, in your podcast app, click share and send a short message to a friend who might find our podcast useful. Thank you so much for your help. It really means a lot to us. Now, let's get on with the conversation. This is episode 32, and today's topic is Japan's junk food, culinary guilty pleasures. Hello, Sue.
Hey.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm very well. Now, guilty pleasures, how to describe that?
There's the two parts, right? You feel guilty, so you feel bad about it. You feel shame in a way.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the pleasure part.
Right.
Like you really want it. And there's enjoyment as well.
Yeah.
So it's two feelings at the same time. You know it's not good for you, but you know you really like it.
Right. And culinary, obviously, referring to food. So Japan is, if you ask people about Japanese food, if you ask people outside Japan about Japanese food, they would probably say the food is very healthy. Japanese food is very healthy. They'll think about sushi and just generally the amount of fish that is eaten. They'll think about seaweed, kombu, and all those kind of things, and green tea and those kind of things. So people have this concept of Japanese food is very healthy. But today we're going to talk about the unhealthy food, and I'm using the term junk food. How should we be defining junk food?
I think it's usually something that's fried.
Could be fried, okay.
Could be fried or with loads of sugar.
Sugar, fat?
Fat, sugar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So fried. It could be fried on a frying pan. It could be deep fried.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we've got a few options here. I think also junk food sometimes can be something that you can hold in your hand and eat.
Mm.
You know, think about a slice of pizza.
Right.
You know, you could probably think about pizza as junk food. It's something you can pick up with your hands and eat. So we're going to think about some Japanese junk food. Let's start with takoyaki.
Mm.
Now, takoyaki, the taco is octopus.
Mm-hmm.
And yaki is going to come up a few times in today's episode, but that is the Japanese word that means basically cooked or fried, grilled, that kind of thing. And takoyaki is a street food, primarily a street food.
It is.
And it's battered kind of balls filled with diced octopus.
Yes, it's just like a little bit of octopus. It's a little cut. Almost you don't feel it, but it's a chewy thing that's inside. But the takoyaki in itself is quite soft.
Yeah. indeed. Yes, you don't really notice it at all. There's not a strong flavor from it, or even a very strong texture. So yeah, these little kind of balls, and the way that they have a special kind of way that they cook them. It's kind of hard. It's really hard to describe, but it's like half a sphere, half a kind of ball. They pour the batter in, and then they have this little kind of stick that they use to kind of slowly kind of turn it.
They turn it, yeah. They kind of, it's like a scoop turn kind of technique.
So yeah, as it cooks, they can kind of turn it, and then they get this kind of perfect ball. And yeah, little bit of pickled ginger, onion, and then you've got the sauces, so mayonnaise, maybe some soy sauce, and then maybe some bonito flakes or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's a great food to have with a beer. There's actually a restaurant chain that does whiskey highball and takoyaki, and that's just a standing place, and you have them all over Tokyo. So you just go in there, get your takoyaki and highball and whiskey, and enjoy your time. So yeah, that's the first one. Are you a fan?
I do like a takoyaki. I think I eat them mainly at festivals. You know, right. There will be a stand, always a stand of takoyaki.
Yeah.
We once went to Osaka, who is very famous for takoyaki, and rightly so. It was delicious, and we could make it ourselves in this restaurant. We
did go to a place where you could. It's not common.
It's not common
because they're a little bit tricky.
Yeah, they are
to make. But yeah, that was kind of fun to try and make them yourselves. Where else can we go? Okonomiyaki. How do you describe okonomiyaki?
It's a pancake. It's a savory pancake. It's more like a meal. And then you have vegetables that you put in, and you can add other, like a meat to it.
Meat, fish. Yeah.
Seafood. And then you top it up with a little bit of bacon, right?
It can, yeah. I mean, the okonomi part is basically however you like it.
Right, yeah.
And then the yaki is the fried.
And it has the same type of sauces that the takoyaki has. It's
you've
a
got
little bit similar.
A special kind of okonomiyaki sauce.
You have the okonomiyaki sauce.
Which is a bit like a Worcestershire sauce.
Thicker. Yeah.
Than a Worcestershire sauce. And yeah, you've got mayonnaise as well, bonito flakes, dried seaweed. So yeah, pork, seafood, vegetables, those kind of things.
But you have, the batter one.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have the Hiroshima okonomiyaki, which is with noodles.
Yes.
You can have soba.
Yes, that's true. Soba or udon. I was kind of surprised by this. I didn't know that you could do it with udon, but yeah, we had that when we were in Hiroshima, and it was good. It was very filling.
Yes, it's spectacular.
It was a lot. It was much heavier than I expected, but it was delicious. And the guy preparing it for us was very nice. He seemed to enjoy his job.
Yeah.
So okonomiyaki is a good one. We've also got karaage.
Everywhere. I've like every even convenience store, they have their own type of fried chicken, right? Mm-hmm. That is the karaage. So they have different versions, and each convenience store is famous for their own karaage. But you can find it at supermarkets already made.
Yeah.
Shops.
So let's explain what it is, first of all.
It's a little bit of chicken, and then it has, I think it's marinated in some sort of soy sauce, other ingredients, and then butter. And deep fried.
Yeah, there's definitely some seasoning.
There's this seasoning
to the batter, I would have thought. So yeah, little sort of bite-sized deep fried chicken.
Yes, and then
Bits,
you can have it with a bowl of rice.
Yeah. And they're usually very juicy. They're quite like the good karaage will be kind of juicy.
Yeah.
And again, a bit of mayonnaise, maybe a bit of lemon juice as well. My mouth is starting to water now. But yeah, karaage is a favorite, especially if you go to an izakaya.
Yeah. I think
you have to. I think by law you have to order karaage. Okay, now staying on the fried side of things, there is something called kushikatsu. So this is basically fried things on sticks.
breaded, right?
Breaded and fried.
Breaded and fried.
Yeah.
It could be, I don't know, it could be a little bit of meat, it could be a little bit of a vegetable, or even cheese.
Mushrooms,
yeah. Mochi, anything. Yeah.
So, the ambulance is going by. Yeah, so I think one of the places we went to, you go up and you take all the kind of sticks are laid out, and you just kind of take what you want. And did we fry it ourselves, or
no? They come fried, and you can order like a set. And then what you have is the sauce, right, and no double dipping.
That's the big rule.
That's the rule.
So you can't kind of dip your stuff in, take a bite, and then dip again. That is a no-no. Even before COVID,
yeah,
that was a no-no. So yeah. Yeah, I mean that's heavy because the whole meal is just deep fried food.
It's bite size.
Bite size, but yeah, if you have enough bites,
yeah, absolutely,
it becomes a very big meal. What else have we got here? Now, this is not really fried as such, but I think it's handheld, and it's nikuman. So this is like a steamed bun.
Yes.
And this is like a Chinese thing, but very, very popular in Japan. And yeah, steamed bun, niku. I'm not sure what the niku is. Niku?
It's pork.
Niku, meat, right? Yeah. Lost my Japanese there. Yeah, niku man. And savory meat, yeah, usually pork, and vegetables. And yeah, especially in winter.
Yes, because it's steamed and it's hot.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it will warm you up as well.
Yeah.
It's very filling as well.
Yeah. And juicy.
It's delicious.
It's delicious. When I used to live in Niigata, when I went snowboarding at the weekend, we would always, it was about an hour to the ski resort, and we'd stop at a convenience store, get a can of coffee and a nikuman. And that was it. That was just
that was
routine.
Breakfast.
That was breakfast. Oh, that was like second breakfast on the way. Usually we ate something before we left as well. But so yeah, nikuman. Now, other kind of junk foods. Where else would you like to go for junk foods? Sandwiches. Now, sandwiches in Japan are
their own thing.
Fruit sandwich. Now, I'm not saying fruit sandwiches are necessarily junk food, but that is something to explore. The fruit sandwich. I don't want to get into it just now because it's something else. But there is a sandwich which is a katsu sandwich, katsu sando, and the katsu is a fried cutlet,
breaded,
fried, and pork. You do get chicken as well, chicken cutlet, and yeah, a fried pork cutlet in a sandwich.
Thick, yeah.
It's thick. It's a lot, and yeah, there's mayonnaise. It's clearly a feature here. And yeah, there might be some shredded cabbage in there as well. But yeah, that's a meaty sandwich. And yeah, not something I've seen in the UK. I mean, the UK, we invented the sandwich. The Earl of Sandwich. Yeah, no, he never had this one. Delicious, but again, it's I think it has to go in the junk food
You couldn't eat
category.
that often.
Oh, you'd be surprised. I do try. What else shall we go with here? Well, we could talk about Western food. I mean, this is not Japanese food, but McDonald's, for example, like globally, Japan has the third highest number of McDonald's restaurants.
Yeah.
So there's 3,000 McDonald's in Japan. So it's a popular thing. And it's very, very popular with young people. It's cheap.
It's cheap.
Students go there. Students go there to study.
They do.
It's almost like, the students use it the way that they might use Starbucks in another country. They go there, get their fries and their, burger, whatever, and then they sit. They've got Wi-Fi. They're usually quite clean. McDonald's in Japan are quite clean.
They're always very clean. That's what I was going to say. It's a perfect place to study. They're usually light, with a lot of light.
Yeah, well lit.
Well lit. And yeah.
And the menu is its own thing as well. You've got your teriyaki burger or your shrimp burger, your shrimp fillet burger. KFC as well is a big thing, especially around Christmas.
Christmas is a big time for KFC, yes.
Somebody who working for KFC had a great idea to make KFC the official food for Christmas.
Yeah.
So we where were we? We were in Kyoto this year, round about Christmas.
Oh, yes.
And we saw that. Yeah, Christmas Day we were in Kyoto. We saw the line of people outside, and because I think you have to like buy a ticket in advance.
Yeah, no, you don't just go and get the chicken. You need to order in advance, and they had a ticket, and they were just queuing to pick up their order. Yeah.
That's how popular.
So the idea is that the man Colonel Sanders is
Colonel Sanders. Yeah.
He has a white beard, white guy, close to what Santa should be. No, not necessarily.
Yeah. Well, you put a hat on.
Yeah.
And you got Santa.
And it's also the colors, right? Because they use red and white.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what you would
Indeed.
You would have for Christmas dinner.
Yeah. Okay. Last one to talk about is donuts.
Indeed.
Donuts. I remember a few years ago, there was the convenience store donut wars.
Yes.
I don't know if it was officially called the Donut Wars, but I called it the Donut Wars. And yeah, it was the thing that everyone was eating at the time. And each convenience store had to come up with their own styles, their own flavors, their own kind of campaigns. And yeah, at the register, you'd have this sort of bank of donuts to choose from. It was the thing. And they were cheap.
They were very cheap,
To make it competitive, they were really, really cheap. So like 100 yen a donut or whatever. And they were decent and they were freshly made.
Yeah.
And yeah, so Mr. Donut is a big thing in Japan.
It is.
And Krispy Kreme is hugely popular too.
Yeah, you do see a lot of people sometimes with their Krispy Kreme.
Yeah, they buy a box.
They buy boxes, yeah.
Yeah. And especially around certain times of year, Christmas, Halloween, they'll have special sort of designs for the donuts, so like pumpkins and spiders and stuff for Halloween and all those kind of things. So yeah, the donuts are a big thing here. So yeah, don't worry if you want to come to Japan, but you're worried about the sushi and the seaweed and whatnot. There's plenty of junk food here for you.
There's a lot of offer, yeah.
And that's a wrap for today's episode of the English with Colin podcast. I hope you enjoyed listening to the conversation and found it helpful in your language learning journey. Remember, the key to mastering a language is regular practice. So make sure you listen to our podcast regularly and keep honing your listening skills. We appreciate your support and feedback. So if you have any comments, questions, or suggestions for future topics, please don't hesitate to get in touch with us. You can find our contact information in the show notes. Thank you for listening, and I look forward to joining you again next time for another conversation in English. Until then, keep practicing and take care.